Chapter 80 Raising Dragons. Mr. Yao, you didn't come to my place for the dragon vein, did you? Guhai said doubtfully. Yao Zhengshan shook his head and said, the old man has already seen through that dragon vein. It's not something I can get my hands on. The old man of chess watching has set up a game. Touching it will kill him, so Mergu doesn't have to worry about it. I didn't come here for this reason. This time there's indeed something to ask for Mr. Gu. Oh, Guhai said doubtfully. Speaking of which, Mergu still remembers when I transformed into my own body and led 3,000 sea demons to land on the 9 and 5 islands. Yao Zhengshan laughed. Not bad. Later on, I also often pondered, since Mer Yao was able to transform into his form, why did he make such a big commotion? 3,000 sirens to open the way. You transformed your body. Where you stepped, the thunder clouds thousands of miles. Such exposure, yes. Guhai frowned slightly. Yet it is too flashy. Yao Zhengshan laughed. Guhai didn't reply, but that was probably the meaning in his eyes. It's not that I want to be like this, but I have no choice but to be like this. Yao Zhengshan laughed bitterly. Oh, more than 800 years ago. At that time, I was just born. My father was a demon king of the East Sea, dominating a side of the sea. Not to say that his power could reach the heavens, but it was a unique one for the millions of miles of sea in a radius. Undersea palace. Our family life is extremely comfortable, but do not want to that year. A game of heaven cabinet disciples barge in, was swallowed by my father. Originally thought that no one would know, but finally led to a monstrous disaster. Yao Zhengshan laughed bitterly. A monstrous disaster? That a Gemini turtle shell of the Great Abundance Gang? Guhai's expression twitched. Yes, that's my father's turtle shell. If people don't know unless they don't do it themselves, my father couldn't escape. And following that, he was refined by the old man of the chess watching to seal the Earth's dragon vein as a spiritual object. Not long ago, I transformed into my own body. It was because of the body of my own body that I was able to sense a hint of my father's scent through the heavenly phase sensation, that I was able to trace my father's scent to Great Fungang, and ultimately capture what my father had left behind. Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. You came to find me in relation to this, Guhai said doubtfully. Yao Zhengshan nodded and smiled bitterly. Innate realm, 200 years of lifespan. Golden Dan realm, 400 years of lifespan. Yuanying realm, 800 years of lifespan. But Yuanying realm is a big watershed and can be cultivated to the limit of 1,000 years. I am 846 years old this year. Because I crossed the third period of the Yuanying realm, I exceeded 800 years of age, but the limit of 1,000 years of age is also approaching in the blink of an eye, and I have no choice but to find my father's giant shell. Oh, that giant shell is useful to you. Yes, it can help me make another breakthrough, because we Bosha can, before we die, condense our life's blood in the giant shell, and leave it to our offspring, who can go even further with the accumulation of our fathers and grandfathers. Yao Zhengshan did not hide it. That. Guhai looked at Yao Zhengshan doubtfully. Yao Zhengshan suddenly stood up, his figure swaying slightly. Ka. Above his back, a modest turtle shell in general slowly emerged, and on top of the turtle shell, a disc of Go was being placed. Mr. Gu, you see, 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess game. This is a shackle. Although I get father giant shell and my giant shell fusion, but this game is still on top, as if a sealed shackle general locked me in the next this period of time to think of all the ways, but cannot be unlocked, some subordinates for me to fall. But the game strangulation of the force is too strong. There have been more than a dozen perished in this game. Until the news of Dinglong sect came out. I didn't know that Mergu could actually have such chess power. I beg you to help me, Yao Zhengshan said with a solemn salute to Guhai. Emma Yao doesn't need to be like this. Mr. Gu immediately stopped Yao Zhengshan. Mr. Gu, What are your requests? Feel free to say. What I can help, I will do it with all my might, Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. No need, Mr. Yao. It's just a show of hands. Show me the chess game, Gu Hai laughed. Yao Zhengshan was slightly surprised, but, still, he immediately turned his back to Gu Hai and displayed the chess game for Gu Hai to see. 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess game. Huh, Gu Hai froze slightly. What's wrong, Mr. Gu? Yao Zhengshan worriedly said. It's the same 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess game, but it's different from the Dinglong sex. Gu Hai raised his eyebrows and said. Ah, it's different. Yao Zhengshan instantly worried. Don't worry, Mr. Yao. Although it's not the same, but, well, it seems to be a bit more shallow than the Dinglong sex. Gu Hai shook his head and said. Yao Zhengshan had a complicated look for a moment. Gu Hai watched for about an instant stick of time. Snap! Grabbing the black disc next to the board, he landed on it. Snap! The white disc of the chess game automatically fell up. Snap! Pa! Pa! The black and white discs were going back and forth. Gu Hai was getting more and more absorbed in the game. And the changes in the chess game also affected Yao Zhengshan. Yao Zhengshan suddenly felt a pain coming from his back. But, still, he forced himself to endure the pain without uttering a single word, and bursts of sweat were coming out from his face. Snap! Ha! Gu Hai went down for a small half hour. Boom! Steeply, the chessboard exploded into the air with a bang, crumbling away, turning into a thick fog that exploded away, but, soon, steeply drilled into Yao Zhengshan's body once again. Buzz! Yao Zhengshan's body immediately emitted a burst of blue light around him, and his weakly voice trembled tremendously. Gu Hai, however, immediately sat down and contemplated with his eyes closed. Gu Qin and the others waited patiently on the side and did not speak. After a while, Yao Zhengshan's whole body shook, exuding a powerful aura around him, and a great wind generally erupted with a bang. When the gale blew, the surrounding tables and chairs were immediately blown to pieces. Yao. Gu Qin's face changed. Yao Zhengshan suddenly came back to his senses and waved his hand. The gale stopped instantly. Grand Duke, don't worry. Just now, when the chess game unraveled, a force rushed straight to my heart to help me have another breakthrough. I didn't stop it for a moment and cause damage. I'm really sorry. Yao Zhengshan immediately smiled and compensated. Well, it's fine anyway, Mr. Yao. The effects of the chess game are all eliminated, right? Gu Qin frowned. It has all been eliminated. Moreover, it seems that the old man of chess watching has projected to today. The chess game dispersed, and also gave back a very nourishing power to me. It's really unpredictable. It seems that everything is within the projection of the old man of chess watching. Yao Zhengshan laughed bitterly. Oh, Gu Qin revealed a hint of surprise. The gazes of the crowd looked at Gu Hai together. Gu Hai closed his eyes and contemplated. Although he had solved the chess game, his entire body was reminiscing about the game he had just played. And it was only after a while that he slowly opened his eyes. It's actually a chain game. Gu Hai revealed a hint of awe and said. What serial game? Yao Zhengshan was puzzled. 29 heaven and earth vertical and horizontal chess games. It shouldn't be one game of chess, but 3 games of chess to be correct. It's a progressive chain of 3 games of chess. This one of yours is the simplest. It can only be counted as a beginner's chapter. The one of the Dinglong sect is an intermediate chapter. There should still be an advanced chapter. Gu Hai marveled. Elementary chapter, intermediate chapter, and advanced chapter. How big of a difference is there? Yao Zhengshan was surprised. The Dinglong sect's intermediate chapter is 10 times more complex than your elementary chapter, Gu Hai solemnly said. 10 times? Then wouldn't the advanced chapter be? I don't know. It should be at least 10 times as difficult as the intermediate chapter. Even I don't know if I can solve it. Gu Hai smiled bitterly. Yao Zhengshan faintly burst into a bitter smile. Such a difficult chess game. The old man chess watcher somehow left to set up the game. The Dragon's Tail, a primary chapter. The Dragon's Body is an intermediate chapter. So the Peony Sex Dragon's Head, it should be an advanced chapter, right? Maybe, Gu Hai nodded. Yao Zhengshan, however, suddenly looked solemn and made a solemn salute to Gu Hai. Mergu, many thanks this time. No need to be polite, Mr. Yao. It's just a show of hands, Gu Hai laughed. For Mr. Gu it's a show of hands. For me it's a life-saving favor. If Mr. Gu has any dispatch in the future, just call me directly. I will send my subordinates here to listen to the dispatch, Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. Mer Yao is polite. Gu Hai smiled non-committally. I see that the golden light around Mergu is hidden. It should be Qi, right? And I heard that Mr. Gu is collecting this mortal region. Mr. Gu is preparing to establish a country. Yao Zhengshan curiously said. Yes, there is this intention. Gu Hai didn't hide it, after all. Almost everyone outside could guess it now. Establishing a country is good. Establishing a country can store Qi, and not let the collected Qi dissipate for nothing. Yao Zhengshan laughed. Oh, Gu Hai's eyes lit up. However, if Mergu can collect the dragon vein of the 9-5 islands, that would be great. The Earth Dragon vein can suppress a country's Qi, Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. Mr. Yao, please take a seat. I wonder if you can tell me about it. Gu Hai was instantly interested. If Mr. Gu doesn't give up, I'll talk more. Does Mr. Gu know about the Divine Land? Yao Zhengshan sat down and smiled. I've heard of it many times, Gu Hai nodded. The Divine Continent Earth is the main location of this world. Although my 1,000-island sea looks huge, but facing the entire Divine Continent Earth, it's a barren and barbaric place, Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. Barren barbarian land. Gu Hai was slightly stunned. Not bad. Take this Earth Dragon vein for example. In my 1,000-island sea, there hasn't been a single one in the past 800 years. But in the Divine Continent land, the bells and spirits of the land are so beautiful that there is a new Earth Dragon vein that has been nurtured every 10 years. Yao Zhengshan solemnly said. Oh, maybe the time is even shorter. The Earth Dragon vein is needed by those who establish a country, because the Earth Dragon vein can suppress the Qi for the country, so the emperor of each dynasty just have an Earth Dragon vein, raised in their own borders to suppress the Qi of their own country, Yao Zhengshan explained. Raise a dragon, raise an Earth Dragon vein. Gu Hai was slightly stunned. That's right, clans use spiritual treasures to suppress Qi. Countries use imperial seals to suppress Qi. The imperial seal is the head of the Earth's dragon vein. Doesn't Long Guanqing have a dragon-attracting jade? Yao Zhengshan explained. Not bad. I've seen that dragon-attracting jade. Gu Hai nodded. The dragon-drawing jade is the material to make the imperial seal. Mergu can use the dragon-drawing jade to collect the Earth Dragon vein, then refine it into an imperial seal. Separate a strand of your mind into the Earth Dragon vein and completely refine it. Then release the Earth Dragon vein into your country. Let it hide under the country's earth and feed this dragon with Qi and geomantic Qi, and this Earth Dragon vein will get stronger and stronger. It can help you suppress more and more Qi, and when the Qi is connected into pieces, it will be your country's Qi, Yao Zhengshan explained. Refining the Earth Dragon vein to feed on my territory. A hint of surprise flashed in Gu Hai's eyes. This is just the beginning. The Imperial Dynasty is just a lower country. As the country prospers, the Earth Dragon vein will evolve, and the country will become stronger and stronger, slowly going from a lower country of the Imperial Dynasty to slowly achieving a China of the Imperial Dynasty, and then a country of the Heavenly Dynasty. The Heavenly Kingdom will then be achieved. In the entire world today, there are only 3 heavenly dynasties, Yao Zhengshan explained. Imperial dynasties are just the beginning, the lower kingdom of the Imperial Dynasty. Then what is this former mortal kingdom of ours? The previous Cheng kingdom, Song kingdom, Kai kingdom, and so on here. Gu Hai marveled. These can't be considered luck dynasties yet. They're just small kingdoms. How can they be compared to an imperial dynasty? Do they possess their own earthly dragon veins? Nope. Even if they collect qi, it's only 100 yuan at most, whereas the qi of an imperial dynasty is all 10,000 yuan qi, 10,000 yuan qi, before it can be called qi. The more the earth dragon vein suppresses the qi, the more the kingdom prospers, Yao Zhengshan explained. Gu Hai, however, his eyelids fluttered furiously. Imperial dynasty's qi luck. A dynasty should have a minimum of 10,000 yuan qi. After the establishment of the dynasty, the number of qi can not only be used by the emperor, but can also be divided among the ministers, which can help the ministers to cultivate rapidly as well. And with qi luck approaching the country, the entire dynasty of kings and ministers will benefit from the gathering of spiritual qi in heaven and earth. And the speed of cultivation will also increase exponentially, Yao Zhengshan explained. Gu Qin and Chen Chonchen had a shock in their eyes. Only Shangwen Scar's expression remained unchanged as he sat on the side, as if he already knew. A person who establishes a dynasty needs to raise an earth dragon vein of his own. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly.